Okay, that little video of that, I guess, maybe quasi-athletic event took place in Cape Town, South Africa. Now, last time I was there was back in 1991. It was interesting, I was there on a honeymoon, which is an aside. I've been married twice. Both times I went on honeymoons in Africa, and both marriages ended in divorce, so that's kind of kind of a weird, I just realized that. But anyway, the last time I was there, I don't remember seeing people of that size. I mean, and these women are clearly not only obese, but they're morbidly obese. And a lot of people will say, well, hey, it's not their fault, it's genetic. And while there is some truth to the fact that genetics can determine perhaps how we deposit our fat, the locations and so on and so forth. And, just think about it. Men tend to develop bellies and women tend to develop hips. There are evolutionary reasons for that. There are genetic reasons for that. There's such thing as a genotype, or what our genes are, and then there's such thing as a phenotype, and how those genes are expressed, and then things like epigenetic modifications that occur. But the factors that allow for that, someone that is genetically disposed for that, are environmental, and largely they're the result of diet. Now, there's other things that may impact that, stress and so on and so forth, but diet is going to be by far the number one thing that's going to lead to levels of obesity. The fact that these women will likely, I don't know them for sure, but I suspect they probably come from sort of lower socioeconomic circles in South Africa. And in that situation, much of what is eaten is sort of a carbohydrate-based product called pap, which is a kind of a corn-based, ground corn, mixture that's eaten prodigiously. Often, in the context of sugary other foods and processed foods, which has really inundated almost every sort of semi-developed nation on the planet. And so, like I said, when I was there 30-some years ago, you just didn't see this, and now it's taken over. So the genetics are still the same, but now we have this expression of this phenotype. And so, you think about, what does the implication have for the rest of us? Well, somebody would make the argument, you can't outrun a bad diet, and in truth, you can't, or you can to some degree, but over the long term, it's going to generally catch up to you. And the one thing I will say is, these women are sprinting, or I guess you kind of call that sprinting. It's tough on the beach regardless, but, and you notice a couple of them weren't able to do it, and they're probably the older ones, and probably the ones that were able to do it are a little bit younger, maybe 20s, early 30s. And that goes to another point. I saw a statistic recently that some enormous number, like 95% of the people after age 30 never sprint again, ever. The rest of their life, they never run another sprint. And I think about that, how crazy it is. I'm soon to be 57. I've been sprinting since I've been a kid, and I still sprint. I would sprint, at least weekly, typically, whether it's on a bike or running or whatever it is. And why do we lose that capacity? Well, it's because we don't use it. Again, it's a lose it or use it thing. Now, what happens over time? Of course, diet plays a role. The tissue gets stiffer. You lose some of the tension in the tendons, and the muscular tendons junctions, and some of the elasticity changes. And you lose some of these things, but these things are modifiable to the point that you can continue to do that, and you should do that. Like I said, I think there's a progression here. First, fix your diet, get some more energy as it gets stronger, on and on, get faster, so on and so forth. But this is, like I said, just an example. Now, some people, this is fat shaming or something like that. It's not meant in that way. It's meant to show. And again, these people are putting themselves out there to the world intentionally. They're the ones sharing this. It's not like somebody clandestinely filmed all this. These gals got up there in these ridiculous costumes and ran for the sake of someone's entertainment, and perhaps they benefit in some way. And like I've said before, it's gotten sad that some people have to sort of kind of debase themselves in a way, kind of clown themselves so that they can get attention, or perhaps even some money for this. Now, hopefully, in South Africa, they just won the Rugby World Cup, so congratulations again to the Springboks. Hopefully, that level of positivity can inspire a general positivity towards the country, because, really a lot of it starts with having healthy people, and nutrition obviously has a huge role there. And you think about it, I'm getting ready to fly to Germany tomorrow, where I'm going to be giving a lecture on, rationale for carnivore as a therapeutic option, and going back through the historical and evolutionary evidence on why humans may have preferred a carnivore approach for much of our existence, there's a tremendous amount of evidence there from all lines of different lines of science that it's quite interesting to see. And using it as you think about if we evolved into a grain-based nutritional plan for basically the world, since basically agriculture some 14,000 years ago, and that has largely been metabolically a disaster for our species. And if we were to shift back towards a more certainly whole foods based, certainly processed grains, but certainly a more animal focused, less grain focused diet, I think we would have a much healthier populace overall. All right, let me know what you guys think. I got to get ready. I got to do a debate with a couple of vegans here in a little bit, so that should be entertaining as well. That'll again go up on the YouTube channel in the coming week or so. All right, guys, have a great morning. We'll talk to you soon.